Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you we've got one hell of a show for you tonight. So, as always, you have myself and Miss Annie over here.
Good afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're in.
Yeah, and if you notice the in the thing, it talks about the panel and first quarter, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But let's bring in the panel. Of course, ladies first. Let's bring in the wonderful, the talented Miss Renee.
Yay!
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for asking me to come on.
Thank you for joining us. And we got to introduce Mr. Swanky Yum Yums. Now,
I love you, Zima.
If he's going to drink, I'm going to drink too.
Okay. Let's all raise our glasses.
oh yeah, let's do
I love
that.
you so much.
Cheers.
Good.
Okay. So already we got our guests saying hello, Miss Evie, and I know
Hi,
there's others that
Sarah.
are watching and enjoying. So please stick around because you're in for some freaky stuff tonight.
No, I did not get up. Let me tell you, Sarah, I went and bought a pillow, the kind you sleep on. Yep.
Hello,
what?
Miss Crystal.
No, I hate my chair, and it's very uncomfortable. So I've had all kinds of things, and I've always had to get up and adjust my butt. But this one is real comfortable.
Greg started that. Remember, every time
every time I got up to go like
every time
this.
Oh, yeah.
we got to take
So
a
you
shot.
wouldn't stand out so much. Yeah, I was trying to.
I was just trying to, hydrate you all.
So you start off by saying you bought what? You bought a pillow? Or?
Hold on.
Oh,
Wait, we
is that
got to
a
do a
shot
shout out.
moment?
Hi,
A
Sarah.
pillow.
Hi, Crystal, and hi, Pat.
That was close.
Isn't that lovely cover?
Did it start off like that?
Snazzy?
I
No.
looked away, and I did not, and I looked up, and I saw that. I did not know what I was looking at. I just want to say that.
That's her underwear.
That's not my underwear. No, hey, this is not one of those kind of shows, sweetheart.
We've had that.
We were only a few minutes in. A few minutes in. There's still hope.
Boy, hang on to your hats, ladies and gents.
Hey, Greg, remind her
else.
we had that show in the very beginning.
We did. You made me go on that show.
I didn't make you do that.
And I will tell you that was the old TMV Cafe go-to. You would always have me go on shows that you were trying to get rid of. And oddly enough, within a week or two, they would leave.
Okay, I can only name one show that was like that, and that was those comic book
The Funky
dudes.
Werepig.
No.
Oh,
That's been on for a long time. You remember the comic book dudes? That was in the very beginning.
What?
Well, no, they were on the weekend, and I can't remember the name of the show, but they were asking about having you on, and then I don't know what you told them, and then that was the end of it. They didn't ever come back on.
No, I was on the Naughty Lady show.
Well, I remember you being on that, and I remember having one hell of a show with her for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you proved that Santa existed. Santa existed.
And he's in Oz, too.
Mm-hmm.
I brought him there myself.
Yes, and here's another example. How's your show going, Renee?
I have not done it in a while, but I'm going to start again soon.
Yes.
So you had Greg on, didn't you?
And why didn't you do your show for a long time?
Because of you. Oh, why did I do it for a long time, or why haven't I?
No, you did it for a long time because you had a great show and you helped a lot of people.
I still have a great
you
show.
stopped doing your show because of...
No.
Oh.
No.
Give me some credit.
Well, he's not the person I would think of, EW, to stop a show.
That's true. That is true.
The night is young.
Let me mention real quick, I'm going to show this as a background for those that are seeing right now. This is the Manger Hotel here in San Antonio, Texas. this is one of the most haunted hotels because it is right near the Alamo. And if you look at the very top balcony, I guess is what you would call it. Technically, when you're at the bottom of the, in the foyer, and you take a picture up there, you're supposed to see a woman in white. Okay, and this has been a very common routine. So if you tend to notice, it's the background that we're using tonight because I kind of want to promote a very popular hotel here in San Antonio.
That's a beautiful hotel.
Oh, it's beautiful.
How far is it from you?
It is about a 30-minute drive.
Okay. Well, when we come to visit you, that's where I'll stay.
Yeah. And Josh, you are more than welcome to ask questions if you have any questions. Tonight we are talking about some pretty creepy stuff that has been sent in to us over the years that we might not have gotten to, or that we just kind of paused on. So the first thing I want to bring up, it's not... I've got a ghost in the machine that keeps playing this video that shouldn't be playing. So we're going to totally shut that bad boy down. So let me show you a picture here, folks, that's going to kind of be a little different. So this picture here, you've heard of those monoliths, right? That have been mysteriously popping up and then in some cases mysteriously disappearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I had one this summer.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's been some that appeared overseas and so forth. Well, this particular picture here, this is called the Seven Giants. Yeah, Greg has to count them, but yes.
I was counting them too, so forget that. I think one's in front of the other, sweetheart. So
there's 6.
Yeah, I think one's hidden in there somewhere.
There might be 8. If we're going to go with that theory, then there might be 8.
Well, what's interesting about them is they're also known in Russia as, and if I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me, but Man Pupa Nior, which means Little Mountain of the Gods.
I know what you're thinking, Dark.
I think you nailed it. Say it again.
No, I'm not.
Just to show off. Say it again. That was perfect.
Man Pupa Nior, which means Little Mountain of the Gods.
It sounded like a mountain of something, but not of the gods.
I knew you guys were going there.
Well,
what's Russian for dookie?
Dookie.
Well, like,
that's what I thought the first
Duke
thing
of
I saw,
something.
that it's a man of dinosaur poop or something.
Could be.
Right. Well, like Josh mentions, they're out of place. They look like they're out of place. And yes, they kind of do. These particular mountain or these particular geological legacies sculpted deep within the Ural Mountains in Russia. These are actually in Russia, believe it or not. And I do have some wonderful pictures that I can share of that with believe it or not, snow on them, which is pretty cool because I uncovered them with I found them with snow on it, which was really cool. And I thought, man, this is amazing because you look at these mountain or you look at these images of this particular giants, as they call them, and you think, wow, what the heck is this? And of course, in this one, you will notice that there is someone on top of the mountain as well. Yes.
What?
So
Where?
In the
Right
hotel?
Oh, that one. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's a
that's
different picture. Now
You
they're
can kinda
now they're
see the guy.
gigantic frosted flakes. They're sugar honey wheats. They're shredded
yeah.
wheat. They're
No, actually,
I see the frog eyes on top, and I see the lips. And that would be me.
okay.
That would be me.
yeah, they
Wait,
look like they're marching behind them, like
Right.
or
Yeah.
chess pieces or something.
Almost, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that might come to mind is like Easter Island, maybe.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this is a reserve. And it's very prepared. You have to be very well prepared travelers, and usually requires helicopters or snowmobiles to get to it. And so, I mean, this is a tame picture versus some of the other ones. But here's the craziest part. Now, the first thing somebody might say is they just mysteriously are there. I don't understand why they're there. What this is, believe it or not, is a future site of Starbucks. Yes, exactly. No, actually, Josh, they are not ancient volcanoes. What they actually are a mountain that has been eroded over the years.
A mountain?
A mountain that has been eroded over the years. See, now we know about the Grand Canyon, which is a very popular location where water has eroded and created a big hole in the ground, so to say. This is the similar effect, but in Russia over the years.
Oh my God, Annie, I missed you so much. I'm glad you're back.
Oh, you're so kind.
So yeah, that's what that is. Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. The Grand Canyon eroded down because a river and glaciers, whatever, kept cutting it down. This thing is up.
Yeah, that's the weird part about it all. I don't know. I can't explain it. Scientists have yet to figure out why it eroded this particular way, but it is a natural phenomenon, not an unnatural phenomenon that might somewhere down the line become a guess like Stonehenge or Easter Island or
aren't there
anything
some
like
in the middle of the I don't know, New Mexico desert or whatever? Are there like these weird plateaus that are just?
Well, I know for a fact, like what you're saying, Utah actually has some really cool plateaus like that. Yes. But now that you mention it too, though, they don't actually mention how those plateaus were created. There
was one, something like the Devil's Plateau or something like that.
Yeah.
And that one's like by itself. There's just desert, flat desert, desert.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to get technical there.
Yeah, well, I mean that particular one is So here is just okay. So I gave you the winter view real quick. Let me show you a kind of like spring-like or summer view. So this is them.
It looks like one. It looks
These
like
are the
couples.
same ones.
They look like couples together. Like this one here is like a couple holding each other, all the way to the far right, and it looks like an elderly couple to the left, the far left. They look like couples, and
you can see why they're called stone giants at this particular point.
See, I'm so stupid. They all look like different pictures to me. One, they're all in a row. This one kind of circles out like a wannabe Stonehenge.
I think it's where the angle of each picture is, because in a couple of them you only see two, where in this case it could be different. But here's the thing where science actually kind of gets it. So if you can kind of see the mouse bouncing around in here, you can see the lines, the actual lines of the erosion. And that's how they're referring to it as being a water erosion.
Oh, you know what the one on the right looks like to me? A monkey in a ski cap. Okay, if you move the thing down, the cursor down, right there, that's the nose and the mouth, right there, and then move it up, and there's an eye. See the eye right above it? There's the eye right above it, and then the whole top part is like a banana-shaped ski hat, which is what a monkey would wear.
I thought it kind of looked like the Funky Werepig when you describe it that way.
Oh, I'm not even going to tell you where I'm going to move my cursor now.
Oh, shoot.
Here's my arrow. Oh, you can't see where I just moved my arrow.
No. All right.
Well, that's just science. I mean, how have they like time proven how old they are? Oh, whatever they do, these scientists.
How do you carbon date a rock?
here's the point. Science at times actually has come up with answers of what we might consider paranormal today. Now, give that a pause for a moment. Let that soak in, because the next parts, some of this could actually put some creeps in your body. So you might
Did
get
you
some
say
chills.
creases in your body?
No, I
creep.
am not. No. I say creeps.
Creep? Oh,
Creeps
that
in
was
my
supposed to
body.
creep me
Kind of
out or
like-
something.
Yes, there you go.
Now,
All right.
night.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with one of the first pictures that was just recently sent in to us not too long ago. Now, this was actually captured from a nanny cam. Before I put this picture up, let me explain a little bit of what was going on. The mother has a newborn baby and a toddler. Now, the toddler's described between 2 and 3 years old. Okay. And what she started hearing at nighttime was the sound of the toddler talking. And she thought, well, maybe she's talking to the mother. But see, this is the part of the story that doesn't make sense, because she just said, it's talking. Well, as she begins to describe more of the story, she starts to hear it laugh at nighttime and just start having this conversation, until one night she starts hearing the child saying, no. This is when she broke out the nanny cam and ended up capturing this image.
What?
Yeah. So what you see is this first crib right here, about where my fingers are. That's the toddler's bed. The other one that's lifted up is the baby's crib. So they ended up catching this image. Now, if you look carefully enough, you could actually see through the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a girl with her hair in pigtails. And you can see her. I mean, she's standing up. You can see in the separate legs. Her hand is down. It's like she, maybe between the two cribs or something, there's a rocking chair or a chair, because that's how I had my baby's
Right.
room. And it's like she's standing up and off of the chair.
Look at that hand, though. Look at that right hand. That's a 3-fingered reptilian-looking weird nutty hand. She needs to file some nails. Look at that thing.
Well, Josh asked a good question.
You can see her face, her eyes, everything.
I see.
Yeah.
Really? I can't see any of that.
So Josh asked the question, how old is a toddler? And the real good answer behind that is, as babies can't understand language. So the article that I was given on this particular image was stated that this was a child between the ages of 2 and 3. So I get the idea of a child couldn't understand the language, but it begins to, and as EV says, it looks like she's squatting over the kid. I find the same thing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh! Is
But
that the baby's head?
It looks like she's gonna sit on this child.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. To me, it looks like a T-Rex with hemorrhoids. I mean, I must be seeing something different.
Well, the answer that we have given back to this family is that they do need to seek a local team to hopefully go in and help do some investigating. Because
I don't think it's anything negative.
Well, see, the problem is on the negativity part. In the beginning, I agree with you. The child's laughing and enjoying a conversation, and then is beginning to say no. What is the child saying no to? What is the child hearing? So, it is one of those things. And Rico says it looks low energy. So I think that's what you're referring to as well, right, Renee?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like it's anything that's going to harm. It looks like It's more somebody who's curious, and it could be that not necessarily hearing anything coming from the spirit, but more of, even if she was like going to like touch, or maybe she was going to sit down on the mattress, not even realizing that the baby was there or whatever. And, and it's just a curious thing. And if it wasn't like a family member, it's just a transient. It didn't look like it would harm anybody. And that's where a lot of people get like confused between just a regular spirit and something that truly is negative, that's wanting to cause harm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was a very strong manifestation, right? That was a full body apparition. So there's probably like ectoplasm somewhere in that area. But the thing is that, children get scared. A lot of times they'll say the boogeyman is in my room or somebody's in my room, and they're actually seeing a spirit. Okay. So the thing is there's that automatic fear. But if she was like backing up, and obviously if you could put that picture up again, EW, I don't know, but like she is ready to like sit down, and the baby, the toddler would be like, no, because like I'm here, I don't feel it's anything negative, anything trying to cause any harm. Like I said, probably just a transient. They come in, they leave. Maybe it is a part of the property or the house. But I don't think it's anything negative to worry about. I mean, you can see her and everything.
Right. It would be like me when Greg's trying to sit down on me. No. Right.
Anybody ever ask the kid, who are you talking to?
Well, and that's funny too, because in this particular case, when asked, we have not gotten a response back as of yet. But we hopefully when we do, and they do have a response from a team, we'll know a little bit more details on it.
How often is it that you have a situation like that where one time and one time only you catch a full body apparition, not just a flash here or there or whatever, a full body apparition, and then nothing ever happens again? How often does that happen? I would think if you had the strength to be a full body apparition, there'd be other things going on.
Right. Well, and I would have to agree with you in that particular case, because the odds on actually catching so many full body apparitions are rare. So, and what people are going to see tonight is a rare occasion, okay? Because this isn't the only one. I just got to warn you, this is not the only one. But you got to think about it. Over the years of doing paranormal, people send us stuff in, we tend to get and build up. So it's not quite all at once. If you go and watch shows like, well, let's see, Ghost Hunters, or I can't think of the one that Zach Baggins is on, but those kind of shows, you don't always quite get a full apparition. You might get a piece of something. So you have to understand they're not going through the same thing. Now, here, I'll give you one here right now. Is an actual CCTV cam during a storm, and I'll explain what it is after, but I want you to see it, and you'll notice that in the video they'll actually circle it as well, so you can kind of get a better view of it. Save your responses, guys, until after the video, because we're going to actually get blocked out from this. But I want you to see it, because what's in this video is something really cool, but at the same time might intrigue you. So here we go. This is during a storm, and this CCTV camera is activated by the storm, by the moon. See anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for those who didn't see it, watch carefully. There it goes. Okay. So there is a actual security camera that picked up something. What do you think it was?
It was a dude walking across the back of the what's it, pier, whatever it would be.
Well, and if you look carefully, you can actually see through it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't a regular thing. It was one of them apparitions.
Right. What direction is the wind blowing? Okay, well let's do this.
It's going against the wind, isn't it?
It is going against the wind, so you guys can see the wind is blowing. Well, it's the opposite direction. So you can see, follow the wave. You can actually, when you follow the wave, you can see it. Okay, so Evie says a sheet of moisture. Rico says a shadow. Now they're about to zoom in on it for you. And watch carefully. You can see it literally appear.
You can see the leg.
It's walking. It's
walking.
Yeah, but okay. Pull it back. I mean, pull it back to the beginning. And then look. There's like no way where this guy could walk.
Yeah. Well, and as you can see, it's a dock. There's one end to another. There's no mysterious, hey, let me get off the boat and walk across. He just appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no solid ground for him to walk.
Exactly. All right.
Well, they have places like this near where we hang out at the ocean. Little benches and tables and stuff like that on like a little at the end of a pier or whatever that you can come out and just sit and watch the ocean. So that's what it kind of looked like to me. He was just walking across that. But let me say something, if I may. I know that there's always an explanation. It could even be some funky guy who knows how to do Photoshop. But I'm here to fight for ghosts' rights. I'm really ticked off that if this is an apparition, do you know how much energy he has to manifest to appear like that and show up on a camera, especially if you're full body? And he's got to collect all this. He's got to drain a lot of batteries.
Go, Greg.
Yeah, he's got to do all this stuff. And then he finally appears to say, "I'm here." And we all go, I think it was just like,
The spirit world is so happy with you right now. They're going to join you in the bathroom.
They should celebrate so much. They should expand past my bathroom to other bathrooms.
All right. Well,
If something's in my bathroom tonight, sweetheart, I know where you are. I'm coming to get you.
Oh, don't bother. Don't bother. This one over here has told me since I've known her that my bathroom is haunted. I haven't maked in 7 years. So I know all about apparitions, where they come from and where they go, because I know where I can't go.
Okay, so Evie says she's still waiting for HD quality on ghost videos. Wait. That's all I got to say. Okay, so for those who want to know, that is called the Gray Man Ghost of Polly's Island. Now, that is actual real footage. And for those who don't know, I want to explain to you that this is called an harbinger. It's an entity whose presence is a warning.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay. Now, the reason that this was brought up as a harbinger is because this particular area has had incidences during particular storms. And during this particular storm, they saw that happening, which was to be a warning. Now,
and they go, oh, crap, not him again.
Right. Now, here's a funny part about it, though, because, see, we know harbingers in different forms. One of the most popular form is the Mothman.
Mothman, yeah.
Banshees.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. So they have different versions throughout history of the different types. So in this particular one, this particular harbinger was to warn of what particular storm, so to say, warning of hurricanes, as Evie puts in there.
Okay. I was defending ghosts.
Uh-huh.
But there's no reason to be lazy. That is one lazy harbinger. You don't show up when the hurricane is already hitting.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's like a weatherman who says after 12 inches of snow, we're expecting snow today.
Don't get me started.
Show up on the sunny day to tell me that this is coming.
Don't get me started, because during that snowstorm that just hit Texas, we got told, we had power for a brief moment so we could see the news. Yep. And they said, oh, we're going to get a light dusting. I have a picture of whiteout conditions after the light dusting.
Now, how pissed off would you be if after all the stuff you went through in Texas, a week into it, your harbinger showed up?
Yeah.
Sorry, wait.
He's lazy. He's a lazy harbinger.
I think the energy is exemplified due to, number one, the water, number two, the storm, the energy in the air. So it could happen. What's interesting, it'd be interesting to see if it could happen if it's a repetitive thing, like it wasn't an actual intelligent spirit, but more of a residual energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
The one in the other picture, right? The woman with the toddler and stuff. That one was definitely not a residual energy. This one here, the harbinger, almost appears to me to be a residual energy. So was it showing up more because of the energy being, exemplifying, enhancing it, plus the weather, the wind, the rain?
Well, let's go back to something that's been mentioned before. And I think, Renee, you were on the show during one of these where we've talked about where a lot of entities have been more manifested around water versus dry land. And They said that the energy that's produced from the water actually has helped the manifestation to happen. Now, on dry land, we've heard people talk about the batteries going dry or just completely dying. And that's where they're supposedly drawing their energy from. So in this particular case, here's this storm that's kicking up and, producing, and presto, here's this, entity walking across to saying, hello, don't come out here.
I'd like to know more about it. Like, see other footage and see what happens, like on more calmer, to see whether it's a residual energy or.
Well, I thought of one thing similar to what you're describing. You've seen where they've had the ghosting on VHS tapes that usually are the recording of videos, security videos. And what it is they delete the tape and they reuse the tape to keep recording. And usually when they redo that, eventually you get what's called ghosting, because it's residual footage that was put into the tape already that really doesn't erase. And I thought of the same thing, but if it's digital footage, then that's not the case.
Can residual energy, because that's just a ghost or a spirit that just repeats itself like a loop in a film.
Right.
Over again. Can that be a harbinger? Because all you're doing is just repeating an event over and over again. I would think a harbinger would be something that appears when it's about to hit the fan.
Well, and the Mothman prophecies, which is the most popular thing, was not a residual situation. That was an actual event that happened. That was
or things like the banshees. They can appear anywhere at any time, depending on what's about to hit the fan. I would think the residual guy, he's going to keep walking those decks.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm wondering, what it's like when it's not storming, because is a storm, the water, the wind, bringing him more to the surface to be seen than if not.
No, you're right. No, and I agree with both of y'all. Y'all both have good points.
Because that would be a non-intelligent spirit, right? Because
there would be a residual thing.
Be repetitive. Where the other one looked more like an intelligent spirit.
Yes.
The T-Rex.
The T-Rex one.
T-Rex was more intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at something here. If you guys haven't heard, recently the Pentagon has actually released footage from fighter pilots of what they call UFOs. Now, mind you guys, I'm going to talk about a brand new UFO tonight. This is not it. So here's actual footage of the fighter pilots while they're flying. They're taking this footage, this video of what they're seeing. Now, I did kill off the sound for this because they're talking about a lot of different things. But within this footage, you can actually see what, and I have to describe a UFO in military jargon is basically an unidentified flying object. If you throw a frisbee up in the air and they don't know what it is while it's flying, they're going to classify it as a UFO. Okay, but in some of these, now the videos that I've got playing right now are not the ones that I wanted to show tonight. The ones I wanted to show got erased. Not by me. We'll just say it that way. These particular videos, though, in their what they were catching, these pilots were actually chasing in one of the videos, and they kept describing, "We don't know what this is, and it's moving at an extremely high speed rates, faster than what these planes could actually go." Now, again, these are fighter planes, fighter pilots flying these things, trying to figure out what the heck. And here they are, and they're actually in the actual footage. Oh, this might actually be one of them right here. Hold on.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots to the west. Look at that thing, dude.
So you can hear they're talking.
That's not is it? It's not. I do not understand. Well, if there's look at that thing. It's right.
So as they're discussing this, you hear them talking about how it's actually doing something that's not possible via typical aircraft. You know, going against the wind, going in. Did I see you move, Annie?
I did, but I moved back because no. I moved back because I was like I was up too far. So.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to drink something? Do you want me to stand up?
No, I already drank it. So you can hear what they were talking about is these crafts that aren't supposed to be able to do certain things. So these are footages that are actually slowly starting to be released by the Pentagon, which are starting to say, yes, Josh, the Tic Tac UFO. There's another version of that, which they call the elongated UFO. And I think I talked about that with when we had MUFON on, which was years ago. But we were talking about that one. And tonight I will actually have something for you guys to check out, which is a brand new classified UFO. Annie has had a chance to take a look at this. I told her.
How fair is that?
Huh?
How fair is that?
Not at all.
I mean, I got it.
We all love Annie the best. We just don't say it aloud, EW.
Well, I mean, I had to do it this way because I want your natural reaction.
And he got mine, so
yeah. Annie's reaction was priceless.
It's fake.
Okay.
Well, I thought it made a lot of sense to me.
What do you think, Annie? You were the test subject.
I'm a guinea pig, and I think guinea pigs are cute. So,
all right, guys.
Good. Show them.
Oh no, I'll get there. But before I do that, oh yes.
Oh, you're mean.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to show you might give you chills. But I want you to pay very close attention. The gentleman that's huh?
What are you up to?
Well,
I hate to have one of those things we're watching real intently and all of a sudden something jumps up at you.
Oh no, I promise you that's not this case. This particular video is the clearest video ever captured of Bigfoot.
I have another pair of underwear somewhere. Hold on.
I did that one time years ago when we lived in when Tom moved out, we were living in the apartment, and I was watching one of these things, and it jumped up, and I screamed, pushed back, fell back in my chair, and hurt myself.
I don't
and
like
probably all our neighbors thinking that I'm being murdered or something.
Right? No, I don't.
I don't like jump scares, so.
I promise you that's not the case. If that's the case, I will literally give up the radio station.
I'll punch you in the arm.
Okay. No, I saw this video and I actually went through this a couple of times and had to look at it myself a couple of times. This guy is capturing something that is the first time I've seen any video that's as clear as this for a particular Bigfoot video. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn off the sound so you don't have to worry about scream or nothing. But he's looking at this dark image right there between the trees. And, you keep seeing it. It's not until a little bit further in the video that a face is revealed. And of all the Bigfoot videos that I've ever seen over the history of Bigfoot videos, this was the clearest video I've ever seen, and I had to share this because, folks, I've never seen one this clear. It is crystal clear. So he, in this video, the guy's like, what the hell? He's asking, what is this? What's going on? And finally, you get the zoom. Not the zoom out, the zoom in. There you go. Watch carefully. You see all the hair, which is typical of a Bigfoot. I'm going to pause it.
Looks like me first thing in the morning when I get up.
He's having a bad hair day.
How
bedhead.
How clear is that?
Oh my gosh, I can see it. His the little teeth from and he's got a puggy nose and
This ain't a jump video, folks. This is an actual clear
far
footage.
Out.
Yeah. I have never seen that clear of a video for what is believed to be Bigfoot.
And then now he's running away.
Yeah.
I've had enough. Get me out of here.
Hand cutters.
Run away.
Right? This has to be, to me, the clearest video we've ever seen of a Bigfoot. Is it a Bigfoot? Is it somebody in a costume? I don't know. This is literally being sent into every place possible. And one of our Bigfoot experts that passed away, I can't send it to him, but I do have a couple of others that I will send it to.
His colleague or something.
We're talking about JC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send it to Jack Carey.
That's one of the ones I was going to send it to. I got Jack Carey, and I'm trying to think of who the other one was. I have two experts that I can send it to.
Yeah, Jack Carey was his partner.
Now, Josh mentions that this it could always be a hunter in a ghillie suit.
Which is what? Sorry.
Okay, a ghillie suit is typically, if you ever watch the war movies,
you mean those guys in the army or whatever, and they got those things, to blend the camouflage.
I was thinking mankini. Okay.
Oh God.
Ghillie suit is something different. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. Wouldn't that be white though? I mean, to blend in with the snow.
Everything that the mankini isn't covering would be white. Yeah. bright
Okay.
white.
Well, I wonder about the face. The face didn't have any hair on it. Like,
Yeah, well, see, let's think about one of the things that somebody once classified a Bigfoot to be close to would be that of a gorilla. And if you look at a gorilla, they don't really have a hairy face. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're looking at or that's what a Bigfoot is, but they said that the best description that they could give would be similar to that.
Am I allowed to point out my
Please
my observation if it's not supportive?
go for it.
I think that this is poo poo caca no.
So you agree with Josh? It's a conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory. I just think it's another homemade cool I found Bigfoot video to get viral hits, which is the trend now. As a filmmaker, one of the things that I always look for, I don't look for the authenticity of what Bigfoot looks like or anything. I look at film edits. That wasn't a clean edit. That wasn't a singular pan, finding the creature and then zooming in. It was a definite edit. And usually in these things, when you find a definite edit, it means it's been inserted after it's already been. And I didn't see, I was looking for the clean pan and then, oh my God, what is that? And then a zoom in and it was like this. And then it was just like, boom. You can see where, for me, it looked like there was the edit of where it was inserted. And
I like that.
I have, when I see that, as a filmmaker, I go,
That's actually pretty solid,
That's a good
Greg.
point.
I would have to agree with that because, you think about it, you and I know how films are and how edits work and stuff. And so that's an actual very good point. I would have to agree with that 100% because it just literally does come to that point. Because then all of a sudden it's this zoom, but not at the, hey, let me come back, what the hell, and then go in. It
wasn't clean and continual. Me, I thought it looked like to me like there was an edit insert.
Right.
Well, Jack Carey, along with J.C. Johnson, I believe Jack Carey has also seen actual Bigfoot. And and so they've had some major experiences. The thing is, it's the Italian. I'm sorry, it's just coming out.
Go right ahead, honey.
No, my buddy is complimenting my red pen. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. But the thing is that they'll never catch Bigfoot. Nobody will actually ever catch Bigfoot because it's almost like a teleport from like a parallel universe or something, almost like a time travel because they're never going to be. They're not here. We don't have evidence. We can't catch them.
I've heard that theory. So that is a theory I don't know much about, but I have heard it that they pop in and out. That's why.
Yep.
That's why. That's why they're there, and then we see them, and then they're gone.
Right.
Well, we can never find any bodies of them because if you drop dead, you got 3 of your Bigfoot buddies to go like Star Trek.
Okay.
I really do believe that. I mean, that's what I pick up. That's what I've heard from Spirit. It's not anything we're going to find here. They're never going to catch them. They're never going to be able to catch them.
That's a cool. I don't know. I'd like to know more about that. That's very interesting.
Well,
That's a good segue into that
Bigfoot as Bigfoot as a missing link, or it's a primate that has somehow survived over the years, or it's a dying breed, or it's indigenous peoples, spirits that belong to the indigenous people and that they've always known about or whatever. But to start bringing it into I don't want to say like a sci-fi phase, but that had the fact that it's not just a man beast walking around in the woods, it's actually they've got abilities far beyond what we know. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I want to warn everyone right now. These next 2 videos might give you a little bit of chills. All right. As we mentioned earlier, as Evie mentioned, she wants to see a real video of full body apparition. Careful what you wish for, because you just might get that. Well,
thanks, Stevie.
Yep. Here we go. So this is actual footage, and I do have the credit on there for you to know who it goes to and stuff. But check this out and watch how this team actually follows up behind this, okay? So you kind of get an idea. It's not somebody trying to fake it. It's somebody who's like, what the hell? And they go and investigate.
I heard footsteps, I'm sure of it. Come if you're here. Walk up this corridor. Not the infrared there, but the noise is kind of, I don't know, it's like in the centre here. Okay. Come if you're here. If you're here. What's that? There. I can see it now. Go for it. I'm not being hello? They fell downstairs again. Hello? Who was that? Okay. Tell me if you're here. If you're here. What's that? There.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, your thoughts?
Those were the worst Spanish accents I've ever heard.
They were Spanish?
Exactly.
No, it didn't sound. I thought they were English.
My point exactly.
So this is actual footage, and you saw who the credit goes to and stuff. The team itself runs into, and as Greg mentioned earlier, you don't get the cut, you don't get the edit. This was grab the camera and go, and that's exactly what this team particularly did. And he comes to a door, and it's like, there's nothing here. So what did we just see? Now, in most cases, if it was a CCTV, I would have said ghosting again. But in this particular case, that wasn't what we saw. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that that's an actual, whether it be intelligent or residual energy, obviously. There, I mean, I don't know why they would go chasing after it, but it's not gonna.
Okay, so
that's one of those guy things, you know.
Look. And I'm not disrespecting the guy, okay?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think that's kind of cool. But
if you watch the first episode of Ghost Adventurers,
and run, dude, run!
Yeah, I mean, he's about running the cameraman over and stuff. Look, I respect the guys. They're going and doing something they should, that most people wouldn't do. But if you're walking into a position that you get the snot scared out of you and you're about to run the cameraman over, you really shouldn't be there in the first place.
But this is the thing that gets me, okay? So, like, when I do public investigations with groups of people and stuff, I always do, like, an intro and a protection prayer and everything else, or set up the protection for everybody, and I give the guidelines, but I also tell them, you're always in control. I mean, if you're going to be scared and screaming and running and, you're going to ruin it for everybody else, right?
Right.
But you're always in control. They can't harm you if you give that energy of yourself of being always in control, because you're alive and they're dead, and so to me, to scream and yell and run, and we've done a public investigation where I saw a guy, there was a woman, he ran over my girlfriend going up the stairs. Like, he didn't hit her. Like, he's was running up the stairs, and she's so short, and she was running up the stairs to get out, and he was stepped over her to get up to the next floor because they freaked out because of something.
You can't go into an investigation and be scared.
No.
I mean, you have to go with basically, I hate to say it in these terms, but skin of steel. Let it just go right off of you because.
I'm not saying like trick or anything, and give attitude.
Oh yeah, but no.
I don't believe in that either because I think with spirit communication and trying to get the evidence you want, you got to just kind of be human. You know what I mean? Because they were human at one time before themselves. So
but like James Long said, don't be asking for things to happen to you that you really shouldn't be asking for.
Right.
Let me be very clear about this. Any paranormal investigation I go on, if I'm ever invited, if I see something come out that shouldn't be there, and I don't want to get into the debate of, well, he was there first. If I'm there and something comes out, I'm going to scream like a teenage girl at a Justin Bieber concert.
You are not.
I am going to plot.
I can picture it.
Scream, do jazz hands, and I'm out.
How do the hands go again? Please, you need to read. There it is.
Jazz, and I'm out. I am out. And I don't want to be mocked. I don't want to be.
Dude, I would stand there and laugh at you. So help me God.
Yeah, I don't want to be ghost shamed. I don't want to be ghost shamed afterwards. I don't want to be put down for screaming like an indie man.
No, look.
You know what I would do? The first words out of my mouth would be, "What the hell?"
Yeah, that would probably be mine too.
What, as you watch me run, or your reaction to the ghost?
No,
as she's watching you run, she's probably on the floor rolling in laughter, okay?
I would be like, what the hell? And then I'd be like, I'd probably chase after you for blowing the investigation.
Well, and let's be honest. The times that we've been together, you've chased after me anyway.
I have.
Usually with a rolling pin.
Yep.
Or some other blunt object. So that's nothing new.
All right.
And I screamed
I've saved the best for last. So if you're playing video games or you're doing something that you really want to see this particular part, pay close attention. There is a new UFO that has been classified as appearing quite often as of late. This particular UFO is called an Ebani UFO. EBANI, for those that are keeping notes. It is called an Ebani UFO.
How do you know it's pronounced that way?
Trust me, I've had to do some research on this bad boy. Okay.
Does that stand for something? Is that an acronym or?
No, that's not an acronym. That's actually what they call it.
Okay.
I trust me, when I first heard the word, I miswrote it. I didn't write it the right way. And so trying to do the research, I had a hell of a time trying to get all that right, So I'm going to share this video with you guys. This was a video that was taken of an Ebani. Now in here, they question the both. But in this particular case, you're not seeing an orb. You're not seeing what you're seeing is this particular light phenomenon.
Okay, that's like what I captured a year ago.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time I've heard this. Okay, in California, they actually had a longer version of it. And what some people are actually speculating is that this could be an opening to another dimension.
A portal?
Yep,
Exactly.
that's what
The
my
ones
thought
I
was.
saw were dropping out of a larger one. I've got it on my camera. I just need to find it.
And they bark?
No, that was the background sound of who was filming.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's freaky.
No, that's not that. So this is what we're looking at. These are the things that the newest UFOs that people are actually taking video of that they can't explain. Now, I am reaching out to MUFON to try to get their response to it, maybe get them back on the show so we can find out what exactly is this and what is it that we're dealing with. Because in this particular case, we're looking at something that can't be explained. I mean, you could take a laser light and put it up in the air and it's one way. But what we're seeing here is not like that. This is a literal refraction. Let's see. Go ahead and put it up there, Renee. It's focusing. It's focusing. Yeah, right above that cloud over in the.
Right. So do you see the diamond above it?
Yeah.
We're dropping out of that.
Huh.
Tilt your camera the other way. Yeah, that way. Thank you.
So you see it there on that side of the screen.
Huh.
I stood right there in my driveway and watched this as they were dropping out.
Here, keep it there for a second, Renee. I'm going to put you where it goes big screen here. Oop. So between the two comparisons, you can see here the dots in this particular case, and then this one, and obviously the camera stopped at the point where it's kind of shaking on the video. But yeah, we're seeing similar effects.
Here's another one.
So Josh asks, lens flares? I have seen lens flares, but the problem with that is
here you go. Here's another.
That's not lens flares.
No, I'm doing that lens flare at all.
Yeah.
And the sun was nowhere near in the direction. They go into that cloud. They go into that. I stood there and watched it with my naked eye, and then I took out the camera. Mm-hmm. So, but do you see it?
Yeah. What's even more interesting is that it's 35 degrees.
The angle or the temperature?
Well, no, the temperature. I saw it on it. See it up there, was up there at the top.
Oh, right now? Yeah, it is. It's kind of cold. Yeah, this was taken.
So what do you think? What is your... See, you got to see this with your own eyes. What is your take?
Oh, you know what my opinion was.
Well, I've seen a lot of activity around where I live. I mean, you know that, and I've talked about that several times. But I think it's real. I think it's real. I think it's more and more happening. I'll never forget the night just a mile down the road. I was driving with my daughter and her friend. This was probably about 8 years ago. And we were driving down the road, and I was going to go get gas and get the kids something to snack on. And right over by the airport, I mean, it was a huge, huge UFO. I mean, it was like right there. It was huge. It was bigger than a football field. It was huge. It was hovering. I was not the only one who saw it. Both traffics on 13, both lanes of traffic, north and south, stopped. People were pulling over. People were trying to get their cameras out. And it just suddenly was gone, like totally dissipated. So me being who I am, I called the airport because it was right over the airport. I mean, it was huge. It was this huge thing. And I'm like, they laughed at me. I was like, really?
Well, I mean, it's nothing to laugh at if you're not the only one that's catching.
No, I wasn't. I was not the only one. I mean, I'm talking bumper to bumper traffic, both lanes, heading north and south, were stopping and pulling over to the side of the road to get pictures of this thing. It was huge. It was huge. I've never seen anything so big in my whole life. It was not anything military. It was not. But you got to remember, I live near Cornell University. I live near, there's a National Reserve Base, Army Reserve Base. Plus you got the airport. Plus you have Seneca Lake right there. You know, so you've got that triangle of things that they use, that they talk about when attracting UFOs and stuff. Now, Seneca Lake is the next lake over, and it's actually deeper than Cayuga. And they've actually said that they believe that there's been cases that they have the underwater UFOs in Seneca Lake.
Like the movie The Abyss.
So
that came out from under the water. Yeah, the sea.
So I mean, there's tons of activity in my area. I can go outside. I can point to a portal. Same location, doesn't matter what time of year it is. I can go out there, and it looks like an abyss or an amoeba, and it changes. You know, it just smoothly changes. But there's like lights all around it. But it's the same spot, and it's there during the day, and at night it's like a portal, and you can see it. Yeah, I mean, and when I see, and other people have witnessed it, when we've seen the UFOs standing outside, because I sky watch a lot at night, and I always see shadow figures, like shadow people.
What, with the UFO or where?
Separate. Like, you'll see the UFO. It'll be right there. But as I'm watching, I'll also see like a couple of shadow people standing off to, like, usually the right or the left of me. And I watch them, and they watch me as I'm watching them, and I'm looking up the UFO. And that's why I feel that shadow people aren't anything that's like really scary and freaky and demonic. I really feel that shadow people are more extraterrestrial.
I don't. I have an issue. I can't say that I would believe that, because coming face to face with one myself in my in the last house we lived in.
I've witnessed it several times. So I mean, I don't.
Right. Even the fact that that this particular event for you coexisted,
several different times.
Yeah, and I could get the understanding where you could draw that conclusion. So I'm not against what you're saying, but my experience with the shadow person was way different. So
even if they are extraterrestrial in origin, they can still be menacing.
Yes. Oh, they could be.
I mean,
now several times, like there's times like I've gone out, and I've witnessed them, and I don't drink, I don't do any wacky tobacco or anything like that. But I'm very, very much a sky watcher during the day and at night. And when I've seen them, it's been pretty cool. And I observe them, they observe me. But then there was one time, Greg, and you want to talk about menacing, and I had somebody with me, and they experienced the same thing I did. We were outside, and we had real strong pressure in our third eye, and it was getting very painful, and so we had to turn around and go inside because of the pressure. It wasn't like a punch. It was just like somebody taking and going in through your forehead and just continuing the pressure. And we did have to go inside.
Where did that come from? From the shadow people?
I believe it was the shadow people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then once I did inside and did some shielding, it was fine. But both of us were, our third eye chakra. Yes. And it was so interesting because the other person was also a psychic medium who was with me. Both of us are being psychic mediums. And we weren't afraid or anything, but that pressure got like really strong. And I'm like, all right, we're going inside. I don't know what you're trying to do, but we're going inside. It was almost like a sudden migraine, but like you could feel it. I mean, the pressure was like so strong, and just a continuous force, just continuous. So went inside, did some shielding, and then we were fine, but
Can people who are not psychic or have those abilities, the commoners, can they see shadow people? Can they?
Oh, sure. I don't see why not. Yeah.
Okay, it's not just.
I mean, it was very. I mean, they were pretty, prominent. They've always been pretty prominent.
No, I've had one. AEW's had
arms,
one.
They're taller. They're they're lankier, the longer arms and everything. Yeah.
Now, are we still referring to shadow people or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, now I'm going to ask the question. Now, we know for a fact that it was bogus. But what about the Slim Man? Would that be a shadow person? Or do we still go with the fact that these girls literally...
Oh, you're talking about Slender Man?
Slender Man. There you go. Yeah.
The made-up fictional character?
Yeah, I think he was based probably off of shadow people or whatnot.
Well, I'm sure that's where the original portion starts to come from, but the fact that he's abducting girls and stuff, I mean, hello, Freddy Krueger, I don't know.
Yeah.
That started out on from a game or something or whatever.
Website.
I remember a website and like a forum or something like that. And the guy admitted that it was a story. It was all made up. It wasn't real. But people were still running with it, and things were being photoshopped in. And I mean, he's like, "No, dude, I seriously made that up."
Yeah, he created his own urban legend.
He was he was a photographer. Am I correct? He was a
and he was with it. I can't remember the name of the site. Boy Child 1.0 and 2.0 used to go to it. And they thought it was just fun. And the guy literally, I mean, he would put up scary stories that he had written. It was actually just a brilliant marketing thing to push his work.
Wasn't that a magazine at one time, like about over 10 years ago? What was that magazine? I think you wrote in it too.
Me?
Yeah.
I usually start off you mean with the letter stuff? Because it would be like
like
it was like Dear Forum. I never believed this could happen to me.
We already know you invented Dear Abby. No, what was McCoy's magazine called?
Oh, Necrotic Tissue.
Yeah, something like
that was a magnificent magazine. But again, it was a short story magazine. There'd be some artwork in there. I can't remember. It was something spaghetti.
Yeah, I was going to say it was something like this is why I could remember it because I remembered Necrotic Tissue. So
yeah, but no, this guy he would have like short stories and he would have different characters. And Slenderman was one that he wrote and then started writing that would seduce and kidnap children.
Yeah.
Right.
And stuff like that. And then people started sending in the artwork of Slenderman. And then I think a lot of it just came down to, as so often happens, people are looking for attention.
Right.
So they, Slenderman got me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm
not saying that there aren't things out there. And folklore is just that it's passed down, and who knows what is coming to the surface. I mean, there's a lot of things that are, mutated off of other animals, creatures, whatever. Right. But we can't discredit somebody's own experience, but of what they see and what they experience because it was their experience. But with the Slender Man, definitely that was something that was totally made up for this story or college photography thing or whatever on how you can put things in. And he made up this whole story to go along with it.
As a writer, I have dozens of characters like that. I would be so lucky to have somebody say one of my characters actually kidnapped and attacked them. I could use that kind of press.
Oh, that would be amazing,
it's fiction. It's fictional. You know, it's Jabba the Hutt got me 2 weeks ago. Horrifying.
Well, I'm thinking of Ugly Joe, okay?
Ugly Joe is real, though.
Yeah.
That one's real. Okay. I know because I made him up myself.
Well, let me go ahead and wrap up tonight's story or tonight's show with an interesting story that a lot of people might be aware of. Now, in Texas, we have the most famous of all hauntings, as most would say, and that is the wonderful ghost tracks. Now, this particular story has had many people who still go to it, even on Halloween night, have experienced different experiences. Now, like Renee said earlier, you can't discredit anybody's, comments on that, what happened and what have you and stuff. But in this particular case, as the story goes, this bus of kids was going to cross this railroad track, which still to this day, okay, mind you, does not have the guards to stop people from crossing over it. Why? I have no clue. But in this case, what they tell you is you put baby powder on the back of your car, and then you go and put your car in neutral, and the kids, the spirit of the kids, will actually push your car up and over the tracks safely. And then when you come to the other side where you're safe, you can get out and find handprints on the back of your car. So you guys are looking at a very nice antique car that has handprints.
Adult handprints on it.
Huh?
Adult handprints on it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in this particular case, it's just a photo that's done up so people... oh, good question, Josh. I will let him answer you that question in a moment. But in this particular case, in this photo, it was designed so people could remember or say that. I actually have done this and have driven over it and have debunked it, and so has science since then. What happens is, when you think about it, when you touch the trunk of your car, you shut it down, what are you shutting with? Your hand.
You don't want to know.
And I don't want to know from your case. But in your hands are your fingerprints, but in there, the smaller version is where the oil stays within your fingerprints, which so it makes a smaller handprint on the trunk of the car. And that's what the baby powder sticks to. And so what you see in this particular picture, I'll bring it up one more time. This is not how it actually looks. It's actually quite the opposite. The opposite is the handprints are brighter, whereas in this case, it's the opposite, where the baby powder takes over and then somebody just touches it with it. So that's not actually how it looks. The baby powder will stick to the oil of your hands, even if you wash your vehicle, because most of the time people run it through the automated thing, which doesn't literally wash off the oil. Oh, the idea of how does this car go over the hill of over the train tracks? There is a slight slope. Scientists have already proven that there is a slight slope, which will, as you put your car in neutral, give it enough oomph to go over. All right, Mr. Greg, there is a question for you right here in the chat box. And Josh would like to know, what have you written?
Oh, this morning, a grocery list. I was very proud of it.
That was coming.
No misspellings. Didn't even need an editor. No, I've written, I'm mostly a comedy dude over the years, decades. I'm very old. Written a lot of different comedy skits and shows and things like that. And then I have a couple novels out. There's one. I have a book called The Legend of Ugly Joe. It's my tribute to all the scary, fun movies we grew up with in the 80s. So it's kind of I would say my love letter to
Love
a
letter. I like that.
comics love letter to all the movies we grew up with in the 80s that scared the crap out of us. And I got another.
If you notice that when I popped that up, it did quite say that I had already purchased it. Yes, I had.
Yeah, there you go.
One
You're
of
the
my
guy who bought it. Oh, thank
I'm
you.
the guy.
Thank you. I got that sale coming in. Kids, we get to eat.
Yeah, the sad part about as an author, the sad part about it is we really don't make as much money off of books as everybody thinks.
Speak for yourself. I make a ton of money off of your books.
Oh, off of my books. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm okay with
don't
that.
sell. But I've got stacks and stacks of your books.
This is one of my favorites. Old School.
Is that still in print? Wow. I got a ton of, and I've been in some magazines and stuff. This is all the scary, spooky stuff. This is all the.
I loved Old School. I'm sorry. If anyone doesn't know it, they need to find a copy. You do get lucky and find a few of them, but if you can't get your hands on it.
I do have a new book coming out at the end of this year, probably by the fall. In between my Funky Werepig seasons, I work on the next novel. So it's about you guys would dig this. And in fact, this is the one I was telling you about, Renee. This is the one I was telling you about. Renee makes a cameo in it.
With How Much You Love Me in it.
It's about a paranormal investigator who they call him the Elvis of the paranormal world because he's all flash and dash, and he's more about ratings than any actual accuracy or belief in the paranormal. But he gets incredible ratings because he's very entertaining, kind of like an ass clown. But you find out something about him, that there's a reason he actually serves a purpose for why he does the shows he does. And at one point, he's in a hotel room in Phoenix, and he has to contact one of his friends, Madame Renee. Not saying any of this is realistic whatsoever, but he has to contact her on Zoom in an emergency because he's got ghosts in his hotel bathroom, and he thinks they followed him from home. And now he can't use the bathroom in the hotel either. So stuff like that happens to the guy. But
makes me think of the McDonald's video.
Oh God, please.
So thanks for asking, Josh. Yeah, they're just goofy, fun, silly books. So
all right, Renee, we're gonna have you back on the show, but I want to take a moment for you to explain TVP.
The Transcendent Vibrational Communication Research Project.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't give away too much because I know for a fact you were just on another show talking about that, so I don't want to give away too much yet.
I actually wasn't on a show talking about it. I actually helped out with an investigation last Thursday in Tennessee from New York. So basically, TVC, or Transcendent Vibrational Communication, the research project, is doing a soul projection, not an astral projection, but a soul projection, and being able to communicate soul communication through an apparatus like SB7 or any other recording device or spirit box from a living person. And basically what I'm doing this for, we've captured my voice several times doing the soul projections on investigations and everything of what I'm saying. And basically I'm just going to come out with it. The main reason for this is to save lives. That if I can prove it, that our souls can communicate through these apparatuses just like a spirits can, in helping locating missing people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and something that we're holding off on for the moment because I want to discuss it when we have her on the show again for this, is a particular event that did happen that might prove to change the way we look at communication. I'll put it that way. I don't know the better way to put it right now, what kind of words to put it in. I can think of multiple, but let's just say a form of communication that happened during an investigation.
Yeah.
So,
what is this called again, Renee?
Transcendent vibrational communication.
What was the P for? Wasn't that phenomenon?
There is no TVC.
TVC. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. I've been saying TVP for so long. I apologize.
It's okay.
So yeah, TVC. Okay.
And my voice has come over, in different recordings from around the world. When I've assisted with different investigations of different paranormal teams, but two of them, Pain Paranormal, out of Indiana and Pennsylvania. That's Pennsylvania and Indiana, Pain Paranormal, and then Stephen and Tanya's team down in Memphis.
Oh, okay. They're
so
good.
Greg, next time you're in the restroom and you think it's haunted and you hear Renee's voice,
it's me.
No. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Again.
Tanya did the investigation Thursday down in Tennessee, and I assisted doing soul projection and everything. And they got some really great responses. It's unknown at this point until they go through if they've got Class A EVPs or not with me, with my voice in it or not. I do not get on the phone. I don't get on Skype. I don't. My voice literally comes over the apparatus. And temperature, weather, all of that has, in the energy level around me or in the facility, all has plays a factor in whether it happens within seconds or up to 6 minutes of a delay to come over the apparatus.
Yeah, there was an episode where Tanya and Stephen were talking with Renee, and we actually still have it on our archives, and they discussed what actually happened. And I'll be honest, sitting for my end, producing that show was just wow.
Yep. So the main thing, I'm stuttering here, the main thing behind it is that to be able to incorporate law enforcement into this, I do have a friend who's a private investigator who's working on it. Of course, he's like, bring it in now, bring it in to law enforcement now and let them utilize this and train them. The thing is that it's got to be proven. I need more solid evidence in order to prove this, so that when the time comes and say there's a missing child or a missing adult or something, they'll be able to set up in a room and use the spirit box, SB7, whatever it is, to be able to do a soul communication, to draw in the soul of the actual person, to be able to give descriptions of where they are, who the people are that have them, stuff like that. The soul is actually communicating that information to law enforcement and not anything else. So it would be the soul or utilizing even other spirits to give that information.
Right.
But to actually hear their voice and coming over the apparatus saying, being able to give that description is what is important. So just like our soul is like a regular spirit soul, it has the same capabilities of communication and stuff like that. So it's a conscious yet subconscious communication with your voice and your thoughts and your energy coming through that apparatus. So in this way, obviously, you can't say to them, where are you? You can't look at the child or the adult and say, where are you? Give me a description. But you can call in their spirit, their soul, and say, I need this information. What can you tell me? And it's going to be the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we head out, let me share one more thing with everyone. In this particular picture, the photo was taken at Chillingham Castle. Now, we think, according to Ghost of London, they say they think it's rather sad but interesting at the same time. A small spirit seems to be sitting on a chair looking for attention. This photo caused such a storm. It was looked at and dissected by a number of photographic experts, and they have confirmed it has not been tampered with at all. Okay? So you might not be able to tell too much from that particular point, huh?
Oh, I can see the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and
It's like a
the legs.
Well, let me do it this way. Oh, get. Hold on. Boop. There we go. Ha ha. Okay. So now you can kind of get a bigger view of this, and so you can see it. I'm an expert in Photoshop. No, I wouldn't say an expert, but I'm good with Photoshop. And I look at this and say, I could do this in Photoshop. What do you think?
I think you can. I believe in you.
Yeah, I know you. I know you believe in me.
No, I mean, I called the other thing a T-Rex. So what do I know? To me, it looks like a gray. It's got a big, long head and big black eyes, and that's not a little kid. That's a gray. Now, why a gray is just sitting around the castle? Get back on your spaceship and get the heck out of here. I don't know.
I mean, I see where the eye sockets are, but I do see an actual, like the eyes where they kind of slant down a little bit within the sockets, and I see the nose and the mouth obviously is pretty prominent. You can see the ears a little bit. It does kind of look a little pointed towards the top, so kind of like maybe like a spiritual pick. But I also see it like a woman's face next to his face too. So it's do you see it? The woman's face. If you pull it back up and take my picture off, EW.
Oh, you don't want to be seen?
No,
That's
I'm like
the woman's face. Oh,
but yeah, that's not the woman's face.
There's a woman's face right next to
the right of it.
his head. Yeah.
So I'm
like
not sure if Rico's asking what is a gray, because he wrote gray twice. Anyone want to explain what a gray is?
An alien.
Yeah, one of those
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg aliens or whatever, or the X-File type.
Yeah, with
aliens.
the big eyes.
There's the grays, the draconians, and stuff like
it's
that.
It's technically the versions of colors, so to say, but a gray is
the rainbow aliens are the best.
The what?
Rainbow aliens. They're very happy.
They like a spicy taco.
I need to go back to my planet Zebulon. I keep asking my mothership to come down and get me, and my mothership says I've been to Walmart.
The only other thing with that picture is, though it is sitting down, it is not sitting down at the same angle as the chair. The chair is tilted a bit if you look, and the friend of Renee's, because I see an alien, is sitting flat on the picture. If you look at it, it's sitting flat on the picture, where the chair is actually tilted. So it's not actually sitting the way the chair is.
I thought the same thing Greg says, because like I said, I do a lot of work in Photoshop. I restore pictures. I've taken, if you guys remember Joan, I've actually made her look like a ghost in one of our paranormal banners and stuff. And so I've done this kind of work before. And I look at this and I say the same thing as Greg. It is not set on the chair correctly. So it makes me wonder if someone attempted to Photoshop and didn't do a great job, and then when they send it in, if they, because there's a way to compress a Photoshop picture, and then they can't pull it apart, so it looks real. It looks like a real picture. But here's another thing. Okay, we've talked about this in the past, and Renee, you can actually verify this, and Annie, you too, is where we talk about pixelation
Mm-hmm.
or matrix
Around the object, around what's in question. Yep.
or matrixing. Because see, our body, our eyes play tricks on us where we have to see a face because that's our normal routine. So we have to see a face. So when we come to a picture such as this, we see a face and we see an outline because it's the matrixing. It's what teaches us to what to look for. And so we see this in this picture because of a form of matrixing. Do you see actual arms? See, here's where you kind of can say, oh, I see shoulders. But then you see nothing here, and then all of a sudden, a leg.
Yeah, it actually, if you just concentrate not on the specter.
If you look hard enough, you see it.
Yeah, if you don't concentrate on the specter and you just look at the wall, it's actually the same shading as the other rocks and divots in the wall.
Mm-hmm. Is it a form of matrixing or is it a really good Photoshop job? It's going to be a question that can be asked multiple times. But like Greg said, there is a lot of great ways to determine this and say, this isn't quite right. You know, even Rico says it does look busy, but, you know, what? Is this supposed to be somebody took a picture of their child on the potty seat and then photoshopped it into this seat? You know, we really don't know what we're looking at.
I got to get me one of those potty seats.
I know you do. I keep telling you.
I'm going to call it a compromise, and I'm going to say that it's a ghost chair.
Okay.
So I don't know if the chair is really there. I think it might be an apparition of the chair.
So the chair's not there.
That's what I think. We're seeing a chair that maybe isn't there. I think it's a good compromise.
Interesting.
That's the residue of a ghost fart.
I'm not touching these subjects.
That's in chapter 7.
Yeah. Well, I have to thank you guys for joining us tonight. I did put first quarter. I don't know if I get you guys in the second or third or fourth. It depends on y'all's schedule and stuff. So
how many quarters are you going to do?
I know.
Okay.
4. Let's see what. Yeah, 4 quarters equal $1. So
I'm in. When do I have to show up again? I'm not even going to leave. You guys can all just leave, shut off your cameras, and go home. I'm going to wait right here until it turns back on.
Right. Oh, that reminds me. I have something we have to add to this whole thing. Gosh, how could I have missed this? I have, you know, we have days that that happen. We lose our minds and stuff. And my favorite time of losing our minds happens in a video that I came across. And I tell you, I don't know. I just don't know how to describe it, except for to show you guys.
What are you going to do?
I want you to understand, this is actual footage. There's no editing whatsoever, okay? Are you ready? I didn't think Greg was ready.
Sit down. Be ready.
He already hit his face.
Are you under the influence of spirits?
Ah!
Hey, but hey, and heroic. It's good to see you guys. I've been locked down in the glorious no Pants on Studios until the spring season starts. I had to dig a tunnel to get back in. I just needed a few things.
That's what happens when he talks on the phone to me. That's what happens to him after.
Gone. All of season 1 is up on the Funky Werepig YouTube channel. So, you know, there's an episode you missed where you just want to binge watch the whole shebang. Please do so. It's right there for you. I will see you guys in just a few weeks with the beginning of the new shows. I gotta go. My superior werepig senses are picking up Boy Child 1.0 and Boy Child 2.0. So we will party again soon. Heroic, babies.
But wait, there's more. There it is. Yeah.
So I have a true story to tell.
Okay.
And I don't know, Greg, if I've ever told you this, but I'm bringing it out now, and this is 100% true. Put me back, like make everybody equal, please.
Oh, what? You don't want to be shown?
I'm right there. Everybody can see me. So anyway, when I was about 7 years old, I looked at my mother, and I said to my mother, I said, Mom, I said, do you know Gregory Hall? And my mother says, who's that? I said, he's a well-known comedian. He's a comedian. I was 7 years old. And my mother said, Renee, there's no comedian named Gregory Hall.
You're damn right.
And I said, now figure I'll be 50 something for next month. But anyway, so figure about 47 years ago. And I said, Mom, I'm telling you, I said, you've heard of him, right? And she's like, Renee, there's no comedian named Gregory Hall. And I said, oh. And then what? Greg, how long have I known you now?
10, 15 minutes. How long is the show? I've never seen this lady before.
So
That's the first night I met her.
So the first time I met Greg was through, I don't know, your show, or he was
Tinder.
It was not Tinder. Did I swipe you?
I'm trying to remember myself.
Did I swipe
I know where I met Greg. I don't remember.
So anyways, it had to do around TMV Cafe or something.
Yeah, at least a decade ago.
And I saw his name maybe 9 years ago.
Yeah, like 10, maybe even a decade. Yeah.
10 years ago or so. And I saw his name and I froze because I remembered that conversation from when I was 7 with my mother. And I saw it, and then I saw that he was a comedian. And I was like, I need to connect with him. But will he accept my friendship? My friend request, I swear to God. And so I sent Greg a friend request, and he accepted it. I was so tickled pink. I called up my mother. I'll never forget. I called up my mother, and I said, Mom, do you remember a conversation I had with you? And I was about 7 years old. And about Gregory Hall. She goes, yeah, that was kind of really odd, Renee. But you always say some odd things sometimes. And I said, I want you to see something. And I showed her your profile. And my mother went, oh my God. So Greg, at the age of 7, you can unfreeze yourself now. I knew that I was going to know you. I knew I was going to meet you. And I knew that you were going to be a comedian that will be well known.
And she knew that she was going to scare the crap out of you in the bathrooms.
Yep.
That.
Cricket.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, right?
Are you BSing me with this story?
No. I swear to God.
I've known you for at least a decade because it was the TMV Cafe TMV Cafe is at least a decade old, right? We just celebrated the 10 years. I've known you since that, probably a little before that. You're just telling me this now?
Mm-hmm. I thought I told you before.
No, this is that.
I knew
7
Renee.
years old. And at the time, he's what? You're only a couple years older than me, so
Younger.
He wasn't a comedian then. My mother was like, when I showed my mother, she's like, oh my God, Renee. And she remembered that conversation. I was like 7 years old. I had this dream or this vision about Greg Hall, and when I saw his name and I saw his profile and everything, I was like, that's who I was talking about at 7 years old. Yep.
Well, I don't hear Annie speaking up, so I think I like Renee better.
Okay,
But
well,
no,
everybody, you have a good night. I'm going to leave now because he's being mean to me.
Don't go, Annie. Stay strong, Annie. Stay strong.
Oh, I'm tough. I am tough.
Annie, to this day, Renee's like, I've known you since I was 7. That's some heavy stuff.
That's very interesting.
Annie's saying, she'll say tomorrow, I don't know, Greg Hall.
All right.
Never heard of
Well, we are going to wrap this up, but Greg.
But it's no joke, Greg. I'm seriously not.
I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
Seriously not pulling your leg on this.
But I will say this, Greg, you'll have to remind me later down the line. But we're going to have, since we're starting to get this whole YouTube thing going and everybody's loving it, we need to do an OT like this.
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, when we used to OT is short for OT. I forget what it was for.
Overtime. Anything goes.
Yeah. Well,
actually,
one of these times we're going to have to get Nina, Renee, and Greg in one spot.
He's afraid of Nina. He's afraid of her.
I know he is.
No. Maybe one of you I can handle. I know we got to go. But the last time Nina and Renee were together, I was on her show, and in the middle of talking about my new book, she said, shut up, hold on, somebody's coming through. And she and Nina had to team up because a neighbor of hers had just died, and his cat was hungry. And the ghost of this dude was contacting her saying, hurry up, my cat's hungry. And this went on for about 10 minutes after I said, my new book is about
cats.
Somebody's cat was hungry.
This cat was
That's your new book. That's
it was some dude who was just him with the cat, and then it was just the cat.
Dude, they're telling you your New York Times bestseller. Somebody's cat was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happens when I get together with both of them.
We need to go to Oz again. We need to go to Oz again, Greg. We need to go to Oz.
I'll meet you there. Go ahead.
Well, I'll pick you up, buddy.
I'm good for it.
I'll pick you up again.
She's got the hot air balloon.
I'll meet you there again. So, but I'm going to have each one of you eventually on the Funky Were Pig comedy talk show on the YouTube. So much like this, but I just deal with you one at a time. I don't do all this OT stuff. And
he doesn't like that tag team.
You up there, up above me, right there, which is usually where you are above me.
Whatever.
I'm going to broadcast when you come on my show. I'm broadcasting from my bathroom.
Oh yes! I can't wait.
We will prove it once and for all. My bathroom on it. I got Satan.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to flush on out of here, folks. And,
I don't know what you're doing next week, but my daughter's coming up to visit me.
Yes,
I will not be here.
So we will play it by ear on what will happen, but we will, if we're not on next week, we'll be on for sure the following week. So you guys stick around, join us. And
I can fill in for Annie.
Hey, there we go.
Great. That make me feel good.
We began the show by saying every time I'm on a show, it gets canceled. I haven't canceled this show, but Annie won't be back. Did you just hear that?
I haven't seen my daughter in over a year and a half.
You see your daughter. She's important.
Oh my God. I don't know whether to hug her or not. I don't know if I'm allowed to hug her.
Why?
You know what? I don't give a damn. I'm hugging my baby.
I'm right here.
I hugged my son.
I can't stand this. This is killing me. I haven't seen my kids in so long because of this stupid stuff.
I need the hug.
I miss my babies. Annie. Okay, here, baby. Give me a hug. Okay.
Over here.
Lean in.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
On that note, guys, make sure you follow Renee on YouTube at Angelic Comfort and Greg at The Funky Werepig. If you're not 100% sure, just go to tmvcafe.com and go to the TMV Cafe or TMV TV, and you could click the links and go straight to their YouTube page. We made it that easy for you. On that note, we're going to head out of here. We thank all of y'all for listening. If you have some videos or information you want to send in, please do so. Send it to us at tmvcafe@gmail.com and make sure you put paranormal as the subject line.
Yep.
On that note, thank you guys.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for letting us come play.
Yes.
It was fun.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.